Okay, so how do I share my PPT?
Sir, go to the present now at the right bottom.
Why it is not coming? Okay.
Sir, at the right bottom, present now, and then we can present with a window.
And now, screen. So he says that I don't have permission.
Wait, sir.
Oh, Malika.
I'll give you the. Sir, let everyone share their screen. Now you see, sir.
చిన్నోడా పెట్టే సాంగ్స్ పెట్టు లేదంటే అట్లా పెట్టద్దు.
You must grant permission in order to screen share.
Sir. Sir, I have allowed everyone to share.
अच्छा एक बार लिंक बंद करके
Sir, I have allowed everyone to share.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me again.
Sir, please. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Are you able to see my screen, Dr. Nagendra?
Yes, sir. We are able to see your screen. And you need to just click on your. Yes, sir. That's all. On
So
the
what is there in the screen you are seeing?
What is consciousness?
Okay, good.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Okay, Dr. Nagendra, and for inviting me. I was told that I need to talk some topics on ethics, related to ethics. So I thought that today I will speak about, ethics stems, and let me thank all the participants in your course who are there. And I am going to speak today what is consciousness. Consciousness, because any stress related issue, any ethics related issue, they can be resolved if we understand what is consciousness. So philosophy of consciousness, that which always exists, that which is immutable, immovable, indestructible, unburnt, uncut, unweighed, and all these things. Consciousness means freedom from ignorance, always situated in knowledge and transcendental joy. Obviously, it has no property that is observable in physical realm, isn't it? You have not seen anything that cannot be destroyed. You have not experience something that cannot be burnt or cut, or it cannot be moved. So the question here is, what is this consciousness? It has certain properties, and so we need to, and unless we start contemplating about the consciousness, we will not be able to catch it. So did you ever contemplate on consciousness that you are? So all our literature, Indian traditional Vedic literature, they always talk about consciousness. Athatho Brahma Jigyasa. What is consciousness? I will just give some idea here. You can see here, this is a robot in my lab. It has been given a list of 10 objects to pick from the rack. And, the robot has a camera integrated with it. And there is a visual perception learning algorithm using RCN and is running in a 8 GPU server. And so you can easily see the camera takes the snapshot, and then there is a visual perception, and based on visual perception, the robot figures out whether the list in the object, where it is, and locates, and then finally puts in the delivery package. So this is what also you do when we were small kids. Our mother used to give us a list. We used to go to the Kirana shop, and then he will take the list and collect all the items and then give it to us. So this robot, you can see, exactly does the same thing. That means it is able to replace human being. Not only it can replace human beings. Amazon and Alibaba, all these companies, they're using thousands of such robots, and the humans are replaced by these kind of robots, because robots cannot get fatigued, they will not make any mistake, and so forth. There are so many advantages. So question is that, can we say this robot and the human being, there is no distinction? For example, I'll give you another example. This is again the experiment in my lab. So here a robot is trained to hit a ball. So you see that the robot is taught how to hit the ball by human, and then there are learning algorithms were developed based on the data. Can robot repeat it? In the beginning, robot didn't do a good job. Then we trained it more. We gave more examples to this robot, and a robot is going to hit the ball. You can see that it does a very good job here. And now we have kept hours and hours, and the robot, without being fatigued, hits the ball. So here, it may look like that these robots have actually replaced the human being. So we can easily say that they have replaced the human being in certain tasks, but are they human? So you see that in 9/11 attack on America, 26/11 Mumbai attack shook the psyche of the entire world. Why? Because it is not that a plane was destroyed or a World Trade Tower was destroyed. It is because so many people were killed. Suppose we have such machines, and a terrorist goes and he kills all these machines. Okay? So, will gunning down thousands of AI machines will yield the same level of commotion? You need to contemplate. So there are many people that say there is no distinction between a machine and a human. And particularly with AI machines, people are saying, oh, we understood what is a human being. There are many, they say. And is that true? You know, if we gone down all these robots, all these AI machines, I don't think there will be any commotion. For example, you know this story, Columbia Space Shuttle disaster. It was a fatal accident in the United States space program. And this accident happened in February 1, 2003, where the space shuttle Columbia disintegrated as it re-entered the atmosphere, killing all 7 crew members. And one of them, Kalpana Chawla, is an Indian. So you can see that people really grieved. Entire America grieved. India also grieved because one Indian was involved. And I remember in our IIT, we had a condolence meeting for Kalpana Chawla. So here in this condolence meeting, nobody mourned for the space shuttle. They mourned for the 7 astronauts. So the question is, are we mere sophisticated machine? So, and there is, you know, just because we have got a degree in engineering or medicine or science, and suddenly we blabber saying, oh, we are just sophisticated machine. But never we contemplate what is the implication of that. Suppose we say we are simply a sophisticated machine, what is the implication? That one must think about it. So now, Bhagavad Gita, based on which I am going to speak this particular talk, compels us to contemplate. And that contemplation leads us to a very, very deeper truth. Truth is that I cannot be destroyed. I cannot be killed. I don't grow old. I am deathless. So when you enter into this territory, where is stress? Stress is only there for those people who are living in ignorance or accepting this body to be a sophisticated machine. Okay? So you can see here in the one picture, Alexander the Great, all of you have heard about it, right? Many of you might not be knowing Alexander was conquering the entire world. He was so powerful. And he used to take 2 minutes of rest only, and that too on the horseback. While lying on the horse, he will take only 2 minutes rest. And he died at the age of 32. At the age of 32, he died. Just think about it. So what is this death? And why do we mourn for the dead? So you can see in the right side of the picture. So this is what is happening. I am that imperishable soul, imperishable consciousness that cannot be destroyed. But I transmigrate. Once upon a time, I was a small baby when I was in the body of a small baby, sucking my mother's breast milk. And then I grew. I became child, from child to youth. And now I have entered into my old age phase. And after some time, people will forget me because along with this body, everybody will forget. As this body will perish, everybody will forget. But I am not going to die. I am going to still exist. If I have perfected my life, then I will not come back again to this world. And if I have not perfected again, I will take a birth. I'll get another dress, another apartment. And Bhagavad Gita says there are 8.4 million such apartments. According to our consciousness, we are destined to get a specific apartment. From reptiles, insects, to plants, to aquatics, birds, animals, humans. There are so many apartments, and we get one apartment. And this is truth. So now, why we suffer? We feel a stress because our understanding about the self is very, very shallow. Now, people are talking about we can duplicate a human being. But now you see here in this slide, there is a living organism and a machine. What is a living organism? All living organism, you will see there is an experience of hunger, fear, fatigue, sleep and fatigue, you can say same thing, sexual desires. Whereas a machine, no AI machine as of now has these properties. All living organisms, they can self-replicate, whether through seed, through egg, or through opposite sex when they unite. And no such self-replication you would see in machine. All living organisms, they are creative. They know how to find their food. Okay? And whereas the machines, they have no creativity. They are simply hard programmed. Did you ever contemplate if living matter is different from the inert matter? I don't think so. So now you see, here is a question. Can a machine ever receive a Nobel Prize? Think about a robot that comes to your house, lives in your house, hears your family members, picks up vocabulary. Let's say, because you are all from Pune, and let me say they started speaking Marathi. And in the beginning started speaking broken language and then become expert in broken language, expert in the language, and learns to write poetry. And one day it will receive a Nobel Prize. Unless you do that, I don't think that you can claim that a machine, we are simply a machine. We are not machine. Okay. Now I will tell you a very, very important aspect of life. And those aspects of life are not solved by any science or technology. Like you see here, a businessman, and he made a great loss in business. Okay. And you might have heard there was one Mr. Bhargav. He made a big loss in America in business. So he took sannyas, came to Himalayas, and was wandering Himalayas, thinking that he will never return back again to America. And then suddenly, while wandering in Himalayas and meeting some sadhus, he realized about an energy drink. And he took that recipe and made an energy drink in America, and he became a billionaire again. Right? So here, if you lose, you make a great loss in your business, no science or technology can help you to overcome that situation. For example, you lost your near and dear ones, either in road accident, because of old age, heart attack, cancer, or somebody shoot someone. So many ways you can lose your near and dear ones. I don't think any science and technology can help you when you are grieving for your near and dear ones. Similarly, suppose somebody is failing an examination. I don't think that you can go to any store and get some medicine and get cured. It's not possible. And here you see two young boy and young girl, they got in love, thought they are made for each other, married, and suddenly they realized that their temperament, they don't match, and hence fighting ensues that results in divorce. very painful, very painful. And you don't have a solution for it. And now COVID pandemic is there. Everybody has become a mental patient, because once you are isolated or you are confined to your house, dark chamber, easily you may enter into depression. And in depression, people can do anything, right? Because they have no inspiration to continue the life. So what you'll do? So these are the things that must, and reverses of life is a must. It is a must. Okay. So my point is that unless we know what is life, we cannot deal with the reverses of life. So what is life? So first question we must ask, what is consciousness? Right? So you can see here, when you go to Jagannath Puri, let's say, and sit along the sea beach, you see this wonderful sea with, tides coming moment after moment, and you soak yourself inside. And when you see this ocean is endless, it appears in the horizon, it meets the sky, and you contemplate, you think, what is this? Now the point is that what science does to explain this, what science would do, the science would say that there is air, the wind flows, and wind carries these air molecules. Air molecules have some momentum, and when they come in contact with the water molecule, then this momentum gets exchanged to the water molecule, and then the scientists, they are saying, oh, we have understood what is a wave. Okay, it is simply exchange of energy from air molecule to water molecule, and that's why the wave is there. But my dear friends, that is not, an ordinary person also sits there. He doesn't know what is ABC of physics, but he also enjoys the scenic beauty, being sitting side of the ocean. So to say that current science and technology has explained us properly is a gross mistake. What is consciousness? Even an illiterate person probably understands better than most of us, so-called PhD holders. Okay. So there are two approaches to understand this consciousness in Bhagavad Gita. One is top-down. In 2.17 Bhagavad Gita, it says, that which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Whereas bottom-up approach, when we live in this world, many things, they distract us. There will be incessant flow of desires because of our contact with the sense objects. So in Bhagavad Gita 2.70, it says, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Right? So that means what it says is that once I understand I am an imperishable soul, I'll not be distracted by this temporary notion of consciousness or false consciousness. So there is two attributes of consciousness. One is false consciousness, the other is pure consciousness. Or we can say one is temporary consciousness, right? Like for example, this table doesn't have conscious. But I am conscious in the sense that this body, this living body is conscious, right? I feel the pain, I feel happiness, distress, success, failure, right? But these are dualities of this material world and they are not conscious. So there is no conscious in not matter, and that is in temporary consciousness or bodily consciousness. That is also physical, and then there is pure consciousness. So there are three levels. One is inert matter, then living matter, and then beyond matter, Atman or Brahman. So three steps. One, in Bhagavad Gita, when you try to understand any subject or any object, you have to go through this three channel: inert matter, and then living matter, and beyond living matter. Okay. So you can see here, what is a cell? If you look at in science, you might have heard yesterday, people got Nobel Prize because they are able to, they can exactly dissect the DNA and isolate the faulty. It's like genetic isolation. You can read the genetic map, and you just like you have a seizure and you cut. Suppose there is a bad part, you can cut it and again rejoin it. So something like that. They got the Nobel Prize. My dear friends, this will have a very, I don't know why they gave a Nobel Prize to this, but let me tell you how ignorant we are about a cell. So you can see here and the picture how you actually evolved from a single cell to yourself. That means my father and mother started or conceived me as a single cell, and that cell grew in terms of both hardware and software. Okay, so I have grown. I started with one cell. Now I'm more than 120 trillion cells. And not only there are varieties of cells, there are nails, there are hairs, there are skin. All these are different cells. Blood consists of different cells. Kidney, heart, nervous system, so many varieties of cell, one cell. Okay. And this cell was studied in 7th October 2002. You can see there are three people, they got Nobel Prize. And they studied this cell. How did they study? They took an egg of an insect. When it grows completely, it has 261 cells. And they put under the microscope, particularly Sidney Brenner. Sidney Brenner, he put on the microscope and started seeing as the cell started growing, how this growth process was self-organized. Okay, and they studied it. And they could study a worm because worm has only 261 cells. But I don't think that anybody can do such a study for a human being, because we are trillions of cells. Nobody can ever study like this, at least using the most sophisticated equipments as of now. So what I'm trying to tell is that we are able to observe how cell grows and becomes a bird or a tree or a human. All this we are able to observe in the nature, but we cannot duplicate it. Why? Because we don't understand what is a cell. There are so many people, they will get Nobel Prize, but ultimately nobody will understand what is a cell. I can give you a guarantee. Not only cell, nothing in this world has been understood. Like, for example, chemical origin of life. scientists are saying, we are all simply chemicals, right? But still, if we are all simply chemicals, why don't you take some chemicals and produce a blade of grass? Forget about human. A cow eats grass and gives us milk. I think if the scientists in the laboratory can produce natural grass, then the entire humanity will be benefited. Let them do it. Okay? You have not built a machine where we feed the grass and the machine will produce milk. But nature, we see God has given us wonderful machines like cows, fruit trees, paddy crops that gives us life-saving milk, grains, vegetables, fruits. It's all there. No laboratory has made it. Okay. So one very unknown philosopher has said, we describe the world because the world is indescribable, which is true. And we can see also using our common sense, a cell is not completely understood. An atom is not completely understood. And the cosmos, its origin, its basic building blocks are still a mystery. So also the consciousness. So biggest gain from current overwhelming interest in artificial intelligence is that consciousness has come to the forefront of discussion. What is better incentive than to read Bhagavad Gita? I was giving a talk in MIT, how to build a conscious machine. And there people came and asked me, what is consciousness? You are from India, can you please shed some light? So at least, if you take a Bhagavad Gita in your hand and start contemplating, you're all bright people, intelligent people, I can give you guarantee that there will be some enlightenment within each one of you. So this is Bhagavad Gita. Nagendra ji, how much time I can speak?
Sir, you can speak 1 hour more, sir.
1 hour more, okay. So you are giving
Yes, sir.
more time, but anyhow, so
Yes, sir.
I have many material, but I will just only speak on this PPT.
No issue, sir. Whatever you can speak, sir, there is no problem, sir.
Okay. So
Okay,
is whatever topic I'm speaking is interesting to each one of you, or it is boring? Hello?
Me, it is interesting, sir. Now, participant can give their. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, any participant you want to speak until now? Whatever we have discussed? Okay, no feedback. So let me continue. So approximately 5,200 years ago, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Mahabharata took place, Arjuna was confused about his duty. And he surrendered to Krishna. And Lord Krishna instructed Arjuna. Compilation of that instruction is called Bhagavad Gita. And we all are in the battlefield. All of us, different battlefield. And we get confused. And this Bhagavad Gita is given to all of us so that we can remove our confusion. If you remove our confusion, if we come out of the ignorance, automatically stress is taken care of. Suppose a scientist comes and speaks to you, let's say Einstein. So obviously, all scientists will be very excited. Business people may not be so much. Ordinary people, mostly not. Politicians, they have no interest, right? Whereas if God speaks, what happens? If God speaks, then everyone should be excited. Because after all, He's God. He knows each one of us. He knows every aspect of His creation. Unlimited universes are coming from Him. So, Bhagavad Gita is spoken by God. And that is why you can see here many famous personalities, what they speak about Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi said, when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. Now, there is a Nobel laureate, Hermann Hesse, is German. He came to India, lived here for a year or so, understood our culture, and wrote a book called Siddhartha. I don't know how many of you have read this book. I had read when I was in +2, intermediate science. In our time, there was no +2, it was called intermediate science. And he writes about Bhagavad Gita. The marvel of Bhagavad Gita is its truly beautiful revelation of life's wisdom, which enables philosophy to blossom into religion. Aldous Huxley, a great philosopher, he says, Gita is the most systematic statement of spiritual evolution of endowing value to mankind. It is one of the most dear and most clear and comprehensive summaries of perennial philosophy ever revealed. Hence, its enduring value is subject not only to India, but to all of humanity. Albert Einstein says, when I read Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. So what is Bhagavad Gita? If you look at Bhagavad Gita, everything has been covered. Who am I? What is the absolute truth? What is Brahman? What is matter? Does God exist? Everything, any question that you may have is there in Bhagavad Gita. So just like Mahatma Gandhi is saying that when he is in confused state, he's completely distressed, he would find at least a verse in Bhagavad Gita that would comfort him. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita is all encompassing. It is the one medicine that will cure all diseases. So we don't have to go to anyone. So you can see here, we have 8.4 million species, and human birth is very, very rare. Very, very rare. And why human birth is very rare? You see, I'm sitting in my house. As I'm sitting in my house, I can see on the wall, there are lizards, there are cockroaches. In fact, every day my daughter comes and gets scared and says, why these cockroaches and lizards, and they're growing their number in my house, I'm very scared. Obviously, when IIIT built these houses, they didn't build it for cockroaches or lizards or mosquitoes. They didn't. They built for their staff. Whether you like or you don't like, you are forced to share your space with them. They will be there. Nowadays, particularly, I see in my house millions of ants. They're everywhere. Everywhere they're there. So meaning, according to Bhagavad Gita, unity of consciousness everywhere is there. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita that says, Vidya Vinaya Samparne, Brahmani Govi Hastini, Suni Chaiva Sopakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. What does it mean? It says, Vidya Vinaya Samparne, an intellectual who has earned true knowledge, and by that true knowledge he has become humble enough, then how does he treat everyone? So he says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmani, an intellectual, a Brahman, Gavi, a cow, Hastini, an elephant, Brahmani Gavastani, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmani Gavastani, Suni means dog, Sopacha, dog eater. And he sees everyone equally. Why he sees equally? Because everyone is a unit of consciousness. It's only apartment is different. The dress is different. Okay. So among 8.4 million species, you can see that very few are human beings. You know, in my house, I'm sitting. In this house, of course, we are negligible because in my family, we are 5 people. Me, my wife, 3 daughters. But if you count the number of living entities here, they will grow. They will go to crores, more than crores. You know, I can't count how many living entities are here in my house. So you can see how negligible human population is. Very negligible. So human race is very, very important. Why? Because only in human race, you can ask this question: what is consciousness? What is birth? What is death? You can ask this question: what is the basic building block of this universe? Why there are so many varieties and diversity? You cannot make cows together or donkeys together, ants together and start speaking about philosophy. They would not listen. Okay? So that is why the best welfare activity in a human form of life is to understand the goal of human life. What is consciousness? What is life? Or what is the complete science of life? So we must distribute this Bhagavad Gita knowledge to anyone and everyone, because this is essential. This is very, very essential. And so, spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Now, when we talk about Bhagavad Gita, people say, okay, I will learn Sanskrit, then I will understand Bhagavad Gita. It's a very popular view among youth, in India at least. So I asked them that here is physics book written in English. Can you understand physics? And then they start backtracking. Just like you cannot understand physics unless you are taught by a physics teacher. How can you understand Bhagavad Gita without a Bhagavad Gita teacher? Okay. So spirit of Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 things. First is Lord Krishna is the absolute truth. Why? Because in Bhagavad Gita itself, Vyasadeva, the compiler, has not written Sri Krishna Vacha. He has written Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Why did he write Sri Bhagavan Vacha? Although Krishna is the speaker, everybody knows in the world, including India, everybody knows Krishna is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. But whenever Krishna speaks, it's written Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So that very statement that God has spoken Bhagavad Gita, that is very important. God has spoken Bhagavad Gita means that must be complete. He is the biggest authority. There cannot be a better authority than God. Whatever God speaks, yes, our interpretation of what he speaks can be different. But then if we start contemplating and surrender to him, slowly, slowly, what he has spoken will be revealed to us. Okay. So first part is Lord Krishna is the absolute truth. And hence, the message of Bhagavad Gita is absolute. But my understanding of Bhagavad Gita is not an absolute. That is for sure. Second, we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita unless we have attained the platform of neutrality. What is neutral? Neutral means if you have a sense that you are male, you are female, you are old, you are young, you are American, you are Indian, you are high caste, you are low caste, you are Muslim, you are Hindu, you are Christian. All these denominations will make you biased. Spirit of Bhagavad Gita is that which tells me I'm fearless because I'm consciousness. Consciousness has no religion. Consciousness cannot be destroyed. Consciousness has no gender. Consciousness cannot have any nationality. This is called platform of neutrality. In fact, one great scientist, Max Planck, said, unless one is neutral, one cannot see matter as it is. How true it is. Okay? So reading Bhagavad Gita means just like you float a course in your college and you ask, what is the primer or preliminary or what is the prerequisite? Similarly, for understanding Bhagavad Gita, the minimum prerequisite is I must transcend all my temporary designations. And then the very spirit, third spirit or the very original spirit of Bhagavad Gita is one must accept Lord Krishna as one's master and best friend. Right? God can be only your best friend. Whatever he does is best for me. That's it. So he's my best friend and he's my master. So when this verse is there in Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, Krishna says to Arjuna, Saevayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. He's telling Arjuna, you are my friend and you are my bhakta, devotee. And hence, whatever I will speak to you will be revealed within your heart. That means you will be able to understand what I am speaking. Because language of spirit is beyond your colloquial language. You may be speaking in Marathi, Telugu, Sanskrit, English, but Bhagavad Gita language is beyond these so-called mundane or material languages. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna spoke that the verse is there, Mataha parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. In 7th chapter, 7th verse, Krishna is saying, there is no superior truth than me. So it's not that I am talking spirit of Bhagavad Gita according to me, no. I'm taking spirit of Bhagavad Gita from the Bhagavad Gita itself. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadakshanti te jnanam jnaninam tatadarshana. So there it says that Bhagavad Gita, to learn, you must approach a bona fide spiritual master. And how you should approach it, not in a challenging mode. Tadvidhi pranipatena. Vidhi means etiquette, proper etiquette. Pranipatena, offering obeisances. Pariprasnana. Suppose you have no question. You never contemplated about life. What would happen when I die? Is everything finished? There are many people, they are saying, oh, ये जिंदगी 70-80 साल की है, जियो और भोग करो, जितना दिन है करो करो करो. It's rubbish, this kind of thinking, because they have never studied Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so how they can have any understanding of life? So tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnana. Unless you have question, you will not gain anything from anywhere. Suppose you want to learn physics, but you have no question. Like, current societal problem is every father, mother, they want their children to become a doctor or an engineer. Now, once while speaking, while trying to speak Bhagavad Gita, I went to a company and I met a HR person, HR head. He was a Odia. I didn't know because I'm also Odia. So he started speaking to me in Odia. And then he started speaking to me. He should have listened to me when I'm speaking because I'm going with the message of Bhagavad Gita. But he started his own philosophy. So that's it. In Odisha, we believe, suppose I have 6 sons, one must become a doctor, one must become an engineer, one must become an IAS officer, and blah, blah, blah. He went on speaking like that. And this is their goal of life. So what happens by that? When you force people, you become this, you become this. And how can you become a physicist unless you have question? You are able to ask a genuine question about physics. If you have no question, you can never become a physicist. You will only parrot and you will come back. You have to have questions. And these questions are raised when I start contemplating on life. Variety subject. You cannot become a mathematician if you don't have an appropriate question in that field. You can't become a doctor unless you have proper questions related to that profession. Similarly, to embark upon a spiritual journey, you must have a question. You must ask. We see every day. Once I was coming from my hostel in IIT Delhi, Vindhyachal hostel, to the lab. When I was going, it was hot summer, almost like 2 o'clock in the and when I come from Vindhyachal to my lab, so I have to go via back of another hostel called Shivalik. So as I was going Shivalik hostel, there was some construction going on, some construction workers, they are speaking among themselves. And they started speaking, what is this world? What is this life? 2 मुहूर्त की जीवन है, कब चला जाएगा? और फिर भी इस दुनिया में हम आते हैं और ये मेरा, ये तेरा करके अपने बीच में झगड़ा करते रहते हैं. And they were speaking like that. And because I was inquisitive about this, although they were laborers, workers, I stood there almost 10 to 15 minutes. I heard them, what they are speaking, and it was very pleasing to me. And then I left. So basically what I'm saying, once you embark upon a spiritual journey, whoever is speaking about Brahman, about God, about our relationship with God, will become attracted. Doesn't matter whether the speaker is a woman or a man, Hindu or Muslim, Christian or Yehudi, doesn't matter. The subject matter is God. The subject matter is that of transcendence of divinity. It will give us enough joy, enough joy. So finally, you see here, why should I learn Bhagavad Gita, right? Why should I learn Bhagavad Gita? Truth must be dearer in every walk of life. to somebody may say, my wife is dearer to me, my husband is dearer to me, my son is dearer to me, my father is dearer to me. But truth must be dearer, because at the time of death, my dear friend, nobody is going to walk the talk with you. They may shed some tears, that's it, but they cannot do anything. Complete science of life is necessary to lead a meaningful life. Okay? If, this 300-year-old, currently this science technology that we are talking about, this is only 300-year-old. Doesn't mean that this civilization is 300-year-old. If you go to Vedic literature, you will see the age of the universe, the current, this universe, which we are part of, the age of this universe, according to Vedic literature, is 150 trillion years. 150 trillion years. Okay? And if that is true, so this 300-year-old history of science and technology should not overpower our common sense. They are saying that, oh, this body is, we are just simply chemicals. And life is all about chemicals. We just have to study how these chemicals are rearranged. And if we can understand that, then, we will be very happy people. A stupid notion. Eh? Suppose if you think about, I am a chemical, right? What is my weight? My weight is 54 kg. And 80% of 54 kg is water. Water has no value, right? So that means 40 kilo is gone, water. So what is left? 10 kilo. In 10 kilo, some potassium, some phosphorus, some calcium. How much value would be there? 10 kilo chemicals, 10 kilo fertilizer. How much you pay? I mean, 50 rupees per kilo, 100 rupees per kilo also, 1,000 rupees. Is that your worth? That's not your worth. You are a scientist, you are an engineer, you are a technocrat. Why don't you think like this? Why are we bewildered by many ignorance that comes in the form of current science and technology? I'm not completely blaming science and technology, but there are many things, science and technology, that talks about the life, talks about basic building block of the universe, should be taken with a pinch of salt. It cannot be, because finally, who is creating science and technology? I and you. We have 4 defects of life. Our senses are limited. Our senses are limited. We make mistakes. We have cheating propensity, and we are subject to illusion. So when we are like this, as a human being, whatever we produce, whether so-called science or technology, will be always fault, full of fault. So, goal of human life must be, goal of human life must be ascertained. Okay? In Vedic literature, there was 4 goals of, Vedic society was constituted in such a way that 4 things were taught: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Everybody were taught dharma. Dharma means the honest way of life, truthfulness, compassion, austerity, and cleanliness. That is dharma. Everybody were taught in that way when you are a small child until you become capable of entering into grihastha ashram, householder life. So once you have trained in dharma, means way of honesty, then you enter into householder life, where you earn money, artha. And once you have artha, then you you have kama. That means you satisfy some of your desires. But with experience, you realize nothing can be satisfied. Nothing can be satisfied, because if you eat a rasgulla or gulab jamun or rasmalai, you eat one, you like it. You eat two, you still like it. But after 4 or 5, probably, you will start feeling vomiting. Ready? Which was giving you pleasure, how it is giving you now a sense of vomiting. So this way, people realized that in this world, nothing of any use as far as I am concerned. And then moksha. So this is how Vedic society was organized. To know the goal of human life is very important. In Bhagavad Gita, there are only 700 verses. But in 700 verses, you learn about what is God, what is Jiva, that is you, me, 8.4 million different species, Kala, influence of time. Time has brought in new civilization, and time has devoured such civilization. You heard about British Empire? Once upon a time it was told in British Empire, sun doesn't set because they have occupied the entirety of the world. So sun will not set. Somewhere or other in British Empire, sun would be rising. So that's why. But where is this British Empire? I was working in UK. I've seen it's a very small, tiny land, less than Uttar Pradesh, much less than Uttar Pradesh. And it has, its history has already gone back. Maybe in coming century, nobody will even recognize what is British Empire. They will forget completely. So that is time. Prakriti, modes of material nature. Okay? According to Bhagavad Gita, all actions that take place in this material world is 3 modes of material nature. And finally, karma. Karma is that which liberates us. Karma is not that which binds us. Ajnarthat karma anyatra lokayam karma mandana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. But unfortunately, people think karma means that you do anything. No, karma cannot be whatever you like you do. Because if you do that, then you suffer the consequence. There is severe reaction. If you kill an ant, you get one reaction. You kill an animal, you get another reaction. You kill a human, you get another reaction. Like that. So karma means that by which I can become liberated. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokayam karma. Yajnarthat karma. As a sacrifice, we must do karma. That is, a mother selflessly must take care of the kids. A teacher selflessly must take care of the students. A leader selflessly must take care of the citizens. This is called karma. It's a very deep concept. It has a very deep concept. So, and all these things are there in detail in Bhagavad Gita. Just 700 verses. 700 verses. That's it. Okay. And more important, we must read Bhagavad Gita to embrace divinity, because I am divine. And how can I embrace divinity? By staying away from sinful association. Sinful association. I must stay away from sinful association. I don't have. Normally, in this world, you don't mind if I tell this, because many people become angry when I say eating meat illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, all kinds of intoxication. These are all sinful. And when we associate with these things, we cannot embrace divinity. I cannot soak my hand in blood and still say that I'm embracing divinity. It is not possible. And finally, a balanced growth in the science of both matter and spirit is necessary. And Bhagavad Gita talks about both. Bhagavad Gita talks about spirit. Bhagavad Gita also talks about matter. You saw the comment of Einstein, right? Or have you heard about Robert Oppenheimer? Robert Oppenheimer is a nuclear physicist from University of Berkeley. He was entrusted with building atom bomb, first atom bomb that America built. And when he exploded this atom bomb in Arizona desert, the fire it generated when he saw, he immediately recited the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, fire I am. So you can see that every people in every walk of life, they have been inspired by Bhagavad Gita. Anybody who knows Bhagavad Gita will not be under any stress. I request all of you, please take this suggestion seriously. If you are interested to learn Bhagavad Gita, I will surely help you. Thank you very much. Nagendra, Dr. Nagendra.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I hope that participant has been benefited a lot from your insightful lecture, sir.
If anybody has any question, they can ask.
Yes, I request participant, if you have any question, please ask.
You must ask, because this is not robot. I didn't talk about robot. I didn't talk about AI. I talk about life science that concerns each one of you. So you should be happy to ask questions.
You can either type it or you can switch on your mic and speak it.
Yeah, in the chat box you can put it. Is there a chat box here?
Yes, sir. Chat box is there. From the upper right, you can click on the chat box.
Upper right.
Sir, here after with where there is 78 written
Okay.
after, no sir, not on that. Here chat is there, sir.
I got it. Okay. You can ask your question in the chat box. I see 77 participants are there. So
Yes, sir. Sir, one question is there. What is the meaning of ethics?
what is the meaning of ethics? Unless you understand what is consciousness, you cannot understand what is ethics. Chemicals, can they have ethics? Why science is not able to define ethics? Science cannot define ethics because science starts with the premise that all is matter, all is chemicals. How there can be ethics? Ethics comes when you recognize that you have a responsibility to act in a proper platform. When you understand you exist as an Atman. I have been given, just like suppose you are given, like Dr. Nagendra is made director of IIT. Okay? So as a director of IIT, he'll be given a bungalow. Why? Because he is the most responsible person in IIT. Anything goes wrong in IIT, Dr. Nagendra will be fired immediately. He'll be sent back home. That's why he's given a bungalow, because he has more responsibility. So ethics means I must understand what is my responsibility as a human being. As a human being, I have the responsibility not only to inquire about the absolute truth, athato brahma jigyasa, I must take care of my fellow beings, whether they're insects, they're animals, they're jungles, they're aquatics, they're water bodies, there are hills. I must take responsibility. Otherwise, as a human being, if I fail discharging my responsibilities, then I am culpable. Ethics means to understand what is my responsibility. If I violate my responsibility, I'm ethically, morally, I'm wrong. So this ethics or morality cannot be defined using science, so-called material science. It's a spiritual science. Is
Sir,
ethics related to consciousness? Yes.
we
If you
got,
don't have consciousness, you have no ethics. You don't apply ethics to animals, right? Animals, they enjoy sex in the street, on the street. Do you apply ethics to them? No. But if a man and a woman, they enjoy sex on the street, police will come and put them in the jail. Because in human form of life, we have developed consciousness. We experience in human form of life, past, present, future. We understand, we can meditate on what is death. I went to Seoul to attend a conference and met one Kamala Banerjee or Kamala Chatterjee. I'm forgetting. She's from Kolkata and her husband is Sakhawat, I think from Rajasthan. And when I met her, we had a nice discussion on Bhagavad Gita. And I asked her, how did you get attracted to Bhagavad Gita? I said that when I was here in Seoul, my husband is doing diamond business here, and my near one died. And that time I started contemplating on life. And then I met one ISKCON devotee, and he explained to me what is life. And since then I'm studying Bhagavad Gita. Yes, consciousness. Without consciousness, plant has a consciousness, but it is very minor consciousness. It is not developed. It cannot ask question. Animals, they don't ask question. Only as a human being we can ask question. Balakrishna Ekade, what is perfect man according to Bhagavad Gita? Whoever loves God with heart and soul is a perfect man. Whoever is naturally attracted to God is a perfect man. Whoever doesn't perform any sin is a perfect man. Whoever is completely neutral is a perfect man, who doesn't have a sense that he's a girl, he's a boy, he's American, Indian, this kind of designation, he doesn't trouble him, he's a perfect man. And this question you asked, this is being asked by Sthita Pragyasya Ka Bhasa. This question was asked by Arjuna. Sthita Pragya means a perfect man. And he says, what is his language? What is his action? What he does? What he eats? These are the questions was asked by Arjuna to our Krishna. And Krishna answered it. And these answers are given in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, I think around 50th verse until almost end of chapter 2. So these answers are there. Yes. Balakrishna Ekade, what is perfect man according to Bhagavad Gita? I answered that. Jigyas Patolia, please explain bhakti in your words. Bhakti means always pleasing God. How can I please God? I must know how he is pleased. So that is why I said you can't eat animals, because God likes everyone. He won't like you to kill someone and eat. So what pleases God, we must know. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktya Pahutam Asnami Prayatatmanaha. He says, if one in devotion offers me patra, a leaf, puspam, flower, phalam, fruit, toyam, water, I accept it, because that is offered with bhakti. So you must know, if you understand the tattva of Atman, what is divinity, what you are and what is God and what is your relationship. You understand it, assimilate it, and live by that principle. And then go out and speak to others, explain to others. God is pleased. That is bhakti. Bhakti is not showing some agarbatti in front of a picture. Bhakti is the way of life. No, Rajkishore Prasad is saying if the God is everywhere, each action is fixed by God, why one punish other for any action? No, you are responsible for your action. God didn't tell you to kill animal. God has given you freedom. Nobody can go and point a 303 rifle at your head and say, force you that you love me. No. God's creation is about love. In love only you can approach God. It has to be voluntary. So God has given you freedom, free will. When you misuse the free will and deny the existence of God and his laws and act according to your own whims, you are responsible for your own action. And you must be punished for what you do. And God is the witness for everything that you do. What is santosh? Santosh, when you satisfy God, that is santosh. Arjuna was fleeing from the battlefield. Krishna said, you are a Kshatriya, you are a warrior. If you don't fight now, as a Kshatriya, sometime you will come and you will get involved in the battlefield. But that time, you are already rejected by me. That's why Krishna told Arjuna, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, ma manusmara yuddhasya. At all time, you remember me and then fight. So some can fight in the battlefield. Some will teach in the classroom. Some will take care of the house. Some will rear their children. Some will protect their citizens. But that has to be done on behalf of God. When you do that, you feel satisfaction. You will never feel satisfaction when you do for yourself. A selfish fellow can never be satisfied. You have to be selfless. Okay?
I think there is no more question. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So then we can conclude this. Thank you very
Yes, sir.
much,
Yes.
Dr. Nagendra, and all the participants. I thank all of you.
Thank you very much, sir.
For joining this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so tomorrow lecture will start at 10 o'clock. And tomorrow after 4 o'clock, we will going to have an examination or the test. It will be only for 30 minutes. And it will be conducted through Google form. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
Hello. Sir,
Yes,
how many
please tell
questions
me.
are there?
They're planning to have 20 or 25 questions. Nothing more than that.
Okay, sir. And all questions are all sessions?
Yes, question from all the sessions.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you.
it's for sir MCQ or descriptive type of questions.
We are planning to have the MCQ.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, will you send Google Form through mail?
Definitely, I'm going to email all of you regarding the test.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, if you want, look, I can increase the time duration, but the question will be pretty much easy. So for many of you, it will be only take uh, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Definitely, all those slides as well as the recordings, I will combine it once I'll get it and definitely send to you. Ma'am, I think it is not ma'am, it is not possible for me to send before that because uh, I'm still going through all those videos and all, because I need to somehow cut it and then I send to you. So definitely I'm not promising for tomorrow, but definitely maybe Saturday evening or maybe Sunday morning you are going to get all those videos. That's I'm promising. Sir, there is no second attempt.
So the link will be available for only 30 minutes, or it will be
No, ma'am,
available?
it will be available for only 30 minutes. Okay, it will be opening at, let us say, 4:10 in the evening, and will closes by 4:40 in the evening.
So a little bit earlier will be better, sir, for 3:30 or 3:45.
Ma'am, the problem is we are having class up to 4. That is on deep learning for IoT, and the speaker is arranged from US, so that's why I cannot. Uh, Prepone that thing.
Okay, sir. Okay.
At times we'll have network issue. So if
Ma'am,
if the link
ma'am,
will be
if you,
activated for a long time.
yes, ma'am. If you have network issue, uh, uh, okay, I'll go for 40 minutes. No problem. Uh, okay, there is no problem. I'll give you all 40 minutes. So that will start at 4:10 and it will end at 4:50. That will be good, I guess. Or people are asking to increase up to 5 o'clock. For me, there is no problem. Okay, I'll increase up to 5 o'clock. I hope that will work. Okay, the test will start at 4:10 and it will be up to 5 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. If I have any question, please. Okay, thank you very much. We will meet it tomorrow morning.
So what are the timings for the first session? 10 to 11:30.
Yes, 10 to 11:30. Then we have a machine learning for IoT from 12 o'clock to 1:30, and then 2:30 to 4 we have deep learning for IoT. Okay, thank you very much.